I am on cocaine right now.
What am I fucking doing?
What's up, guys?
What am I doing? Storytime, motherfuckers! Woo!
Alright, y'all. Freshman year, 2018. This took place in November. It was right after school. I was getting ready to go home. I got on my bus and I was ready to go home. Now, usually I sat alone because I don't really like to be around a lot of people, but today, this particular kid sat next to me. Now, this kid was named Mike. Now, Mike was not my friend or anything. He was just somebody I was cool with. We were not friends or anything. I was just cool with him. Like, sometimes I would chop it up and hoop with him. But anyways, Mike sat next to me. I dapped him up, said what's up, woo woo woo. Now, Mike at the time of 2018 was a senior. He was part of the class of 2019. He was a senior at the time and I was a freshman. I don't know where the fuck he is now. But anyways, minutes later, the bus left the school's bus loop and I sat there listening to music while looking out the window. Moments later, Mike pulled something out of his pocket, and it was a bag of Fruity Pebbled Rice Krispies. So I looked in complete hunger, cause mind you, that exact same day, I skipped lunch. I had not eaten a single thing that day, and I was hungry as fuck. I heard him talking to a couple of his homies how he wanted to get rid of it as much as possible because I'll get to that later. So none of his friends wanted it, so hearing him say that, I tapped him on the shoulder and I was like, "You trying to bless me up with that? I haven't eaten a single thing today." So he looked at the Rice Krispies and then he looked at me and then he started laughing his ass off. So I looked at him like, huh? He then whispered in my ear and said, "These are a different type of Rice Krispies." So being the innocent little freshman that I was at the time, I thought he was talking about like these were Rice Krispies from like a different country, because some of my family's from Mexico, some of my family's from Italy, some of my family's from Brazil, and the snacks in Mexico, the snacks in Brazil, the snacks in Europe are completely different from the snacks in America. So that's what I thought he meant by these were a different type of Rice Krispies. Mike is from Jamaica. His family's from Jamaica. So I thought these were like Jamaican Rice Krispies or some shit. So I told his ass, "I don't give a fuck. I'm hungry as hell. Give me that shit." I snatched it out of his hand and he just looked at me and smirked. He didn't even stop me. So I looked at him like, "What?" He started laughing again. Then he patted me on the back and said, "Have fun, buddy." So I shrugged. And now, mind you, there were big 3 Fruity Pebbled Rice Krispies in the bag, like 3 big full bars. These bars were big. So I was like, bet. And I went ahead and ate all 3 of them. After I finished the 3rd bar, I noticed a camera flash beside me. I turned and it was Mike recording me while he was laughing. So I looked at him like, what the hell is so goddamn funny? He then told 2 kids sitting close to us that I had eaten all 3 of them. Both of the kids looked at me in horror and then they started dying of laughter. So I shrugged. Anyways, the bus stopped at my neighborhood. I dapped up Mike and I walked off. Before I could fully get off the bus, I heard Mike yell, "Happy trails, alien!" So I just shrugged again. I thought Mike was on some weird shit. But anyways, I started walking up to my house. Moments later, I got to my house and I was just thinking in my head, like, what in the goddamn hell was he laughing about on the bus? Real shit. Nothing was funny. All I did was eat some Fruity Pebbled Rice Krispies. So I put my bag down. I went in the kitchen and I grabbed me an apple. And as I started walking to the table, I started lagging. Like, dog, I started lagging hard. Like, you know how in video games your player starts lagging sometimes? That's exactly how I felt in that particular moment. I started lagging hard as hell. Like, I started lagging so bad to the point where I dropped my apple. I could not feel my legs. My legs went completely numb. I started looking around me and everything started looking weird, fam. Like, weird. Weird. Like, it felt like time did not exist at that particular moment. It felt like time just stopped around me. I started feeling lightheaded and paranoid and everything, dog. I started feeling lightheaded and paranoid as fuck. I felt super dizzy. Everything felt super weird. Then my mouth got dry. Super duper dry. This shit felt like I had rabies or some shit. My mouth was super fucking dry. I had cotton mouth like a motherfucker. So I went to grab some water from the fridge. I could not feel my legs as I was walking. Everything around me felt swirly and trippy. I drank some water. The dryness in my mouth went away for a little bit, but I still felt paranoid as fuck. And I was just wondering to myself, what the fuck did Mike put in these Rice Krispies? Did I get drugged? Did I get Bill Cosby'd? What the fuck did this piece of shit Mike do to me? That's how I was thinking at that moment because I was paranoid as a bitch. So I needed to rest because I was not in my right mind. I did not know what the fuck was going on and I was lightheaded. So I started clumsily walking towards my stairs and all of a sudden, I just needed answers on what the fuck was going on with me. So I turned to the bathroom door and I walked over to it and I said to the door, bro, what color is my cock? The door just looked at me and said, so I looked the door dead in the eye and asked him with sweat running down my forehead, I'm gonna ask you one more fucking time. What color is my cock? So then the door looked me dead in my eye and said, oh, baby, give me one more chance. So at that moment, I got mad as fuck and I punched a hole in the door. The door screamed in agony. So I went upstairs to my room, crashed on my bed, and I was gonna take a nap so this horrible occurrence happening to me would end. Suddenly I heard, psst. I looked around the room, no one was there. So I shrugged it off cause I thought I was tripping. I heard it again, psst. Hey buddy. So I said, what? The voice then said, look at your hand. I looked at my hand was dead ass talking to me. My hand just looked at me and said, your eyes are red. So I said, huh? My hand then said, your eyes are red. So I pulled out my phone, opened Snapchat, and tapped on the flip camera button so it would face me. Sure enough, my hand was right. My eyes were bloodshot. So I was like, wait a minute, am I high? One of the many questions scientists still haven't figured out. I needed answers. So I turned on my phone and I Googled a random place to call for answers. I clicked on one place and I called it. I was tripping balls, fam. The person picked up and basically when I called this place, the person picked up and said, thank you for calling Hooters. How may I direct your call? I called Hooters, dog. I called Hooters. Don't ask why. Like I said, I was tripping balls. So I said, yo, I might be high right now. I could be drugged. This is not a prank call. I need to know if I'm gonna die or not. What do you know about this? The woman on the other line had a big attitude and she said, listen, I ain't with the shits today. Are you here for pickup or delivery? I said, I don't want food right now. I want to know if I'm high or drugged. The woman hung up on me. So I ran into the kitchen and grabbed me a big can of tuna. I opened it with the can opener and let the fish liquid and a big chunk of tuna fall into my mouth. I couldn't deal with the shit that I was experiencing. I was paranoid as fuck. So I figured, you know, maybe I got food poisoned or some shit. Maybe this dude Mike was gonna Bill Cosby a couple of females later that day and I ruined his master plan. So I went back to my room, plugged in my headphones, and shuffle played my playlist. Bro, tell me why certain types of music sound better when you're high. Tell me why certain types of music sounds better when you're high. For real, like, tell me why certain types of music sounds better when you're high. I was vibing so hard to some Travis Scott, Bob Marley, and Young Bands. Young Bands sounds so much better when you're high. Don't at me. So I figured maybe if I sleep it out, it'll go away. And that's what I did. I took a fat ass nap, my guy. It was like 4:30 p.m. at this time. 6 minutes later, or what I perceived to be 6 minutes, I woke up. I woke up in confusion. I looked outside my window. It was dark as fuck outside. So I turned on my phone to check the time, and I damn near pissed my pants to see that it was 8:40 p.m. I had been asleep for 4 hours. I just went into my room and slept, and I was too fucking tired for this shit. Next morning, I woke up, ate breakfast, got on the bus, and I waited for Mike to get on so I could confront him on what the fuck he put in those Rice Krispie treats. Moments later, the bus got to Mike's stop, Mike got on, and I told him to come over here real quick. He said, "What's up?" I said, "Cut the bullshit, fam. Why the fuck did you drug me yesterday?" He then said, "Fuck is you on, little boy?" Whoa, hold on now. You tripping. I ain't give you shit. You snatched that shit right out of my goddamn hand or some shit. Like you was my mama or some shit. I told him, "Bro, what the fuck did you put in those Rice Krispie bars?" Because I came home, I started perping bad, I started talking to a door, I punched the door, I saw weird shapes and colors, I felt numb, lightheaded, and paranoid. I called fucking Hooters randomly, and I went to sleep for what I thought was 6 minutes, but it was really 4 hours. He said, first off, chill. Second off, weed was in that jaunt, bro. Those were Eddies. So I said, weed? Me being an innocent little freshman, I went, but weed is illegal. He was like, do I look like I give a fuck? Was that your first time? I said, yeah. He was like, no shit. You not supposed to do Eddies the first time you get high, bruh. That shit's not finna be fun. So then I said, what's Eddies? He was then like, this kid, bruh. He was like, Eddies is edibles, bruh. That shit is stronger than a joint because that shit has hella THC in it. So it really all made sense now, to be honest. He was like, only reason I gave it to you was because I finessed it off somebody and I had to get rid of it and I wasn't trying to throw it away, and you just did me the favor. Looking back, Mike could have just sold them to someone and made hella money off of it. I don't know why, but hey, who cares? So, moral of the story, Earthlings, if you do get high and it's your first time, don't do edibles. It's not gonna be fun, bro. It's not gonna be fun. So, that's all for this video. I love you all, my Earthling beings. Stay safe. Alien out.
What I say, girl, what I say, girl, can't hush me, I feel like a giant. Looking back, I don't care, I'm a headache, keep it hush. I won't say what I'm about to do, what is max on, so I'm incredible. Black hoodie, better see what's in front of me. I'm a legend, you don't know I'm headed. That little petty bag shit, but that shit be a real life, I ain't as you whack a nigga, cause he thinks it's sweet. Still about paper, I don't need beef. We gon' catch me, he tryna link. They still got gas on this, man. Expensive habits, huh? Expensive habits, yeah. You gon' slide this way, shit ain't matching, Don't need come off phone, we ain't tell about nothing. I try to bust y'all lick for fucking the money. I don't love nothing, this bitch tripping. I'm still thugging. What I say, what I say, God. 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 Had a hunch because I feel like a giant. Ain't looking back, I don't care, I'm a head. Like keep it hush, I don't say what I'm about to. Hey, with this mask on, so I'm incredible. Black hooded, better see what's in front of you. I'm a legend, you don't know I'm headed. You got a bitch, nigga, she got head. She run my way, she get scared. She run my way, she get hectic. Real life, such a bitch, come test it.